Yeah, man, people, welcome back to the show, man. Nicardo Media House out here again. People, if you need to know what to do, smash that like and smash that bell. Don't leave it out. You smash the like button if you already subscribed. It help push the channel a far way. Bless up to everyone that's still contributing to the channel. It really mean a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and not review the UEFA Champions League in the second phase, match day 3 of Wednesday. Some big games played in England, in France, in Spain, in Scotland, some big results. But I'm going to jump ahead and start off with the two early games that played. First one in Group E, Feyenoord beat Lazio 3-1, a team from Rome in Italy. It was a wonderful show. From the Mexican Santiago Jimenez. He is a wonderful, talented kid. He's really playing excellent. He had a really good Gold Cup in the summer, so I have been watching this player, for the last, I would say, 5 months now. So yeah, you know, the third goal, scored by Zerouche, it was a wonderful show. But the Brazilian kid that's on the left, Piaxio, he's so good. He's so good at the ball at his feet. The thing is with these Dutch teams, they always come into the UEFA Champions League with some bright young talent. I just love watching them. I just love watching Feyenoord team. They are really good on the ball, especially. They always have a well organized structure about them. It's like they know exactly where to run, where to pass the ball. This team is well structured, so it doesn't matter if this team played in a neutral venue. They still have win this game because they just look the better team on the day. But Group E is setting up really good. But I'm going to go ahead and go talk about Barcelona and Shakhtar Donetsk, a team from Ukraine. Ferran Torres and Lopez, both score and both assist each other on the day. Two wonderful goals scored. But the Ukrainian from the Donbass area, Sudikov, I think if the next player should leave in Ukraine, like Modric, this is the guy, the number 10 for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's a wonderful creative midfielder, and I think Barcelona control the game in that first half, but in the second half, they kind of ease up a bit off the gas, and it just gave Shakhtar a little bit more room, a little bit more freedom to just express themselves, and that's how they got the goal. They were trying to push on, but Barcelona control the game, a better team, well organized, can keep the ball. So Barcelona wasn't trying to burn enough energy in that second half. As they have a big game against a fierce rival on Saturday, the El Clasico. So Barcelona just took them foot off the gas a little bit, and that's how Ukraine, not Ukraine, Shakhtar Donetsk team came back into the game, but they lost the game 2-1. But we're going to move on. The second game in Group H, Antwerp versus FC Porto. Youssef scored the first goal for Antwerp Royal, the team from Belgium, and that goal lifted the stadium roof off as everyone was going excited. When a younger, inexperienced team, a team that's underdog team scored against big teams, fans just go crazy, especially if you take the lead or you equalize. But on the day, the Brazilian just took the game away from them. Evan Nielsen, scored a hat trick on the day, and that's how the game finished 4-1. But it was a really good show. From a Royal Antwerp, they played a very good first half, but the second half, FC Porto came out a little bit more stronger. Um, the group set up like this. Barcelona group in Group H. Barcelona is on top. 3 from 3. They will play. I think I don't know where's the next home game because Shakhtar don't really play their home game in the Donbass arena, as that stadium is on the border of Russia. I think it's on the eastern side of Ukraine, so that's kind of destroyed. But some of them game they play the league game in Zuni in Lizik or something like that in the other side on the other side of the country, and I think a couple of the games already European games played in Hamburg. So probably that's where the next game will play. They will host Barcelona as their home game in Hamburg. But FC Porto, is in second position on 6 points. Shakhtar Donetsk on 3 points, and Royal Antwerp. I think this is how this group gonna finish. Barcelona first, FC Porto second, and Shakhtar will finish in third in that Europa League spot. But going to go ahead and connect to the next game. The next game in Group E, the other match of Group E, where Feyenoord and Lazio in Celtic. They managed to get a 2-2 draw at So we're going to move on to Scotland. Celtic at Celtic Park. Celtic host Atletico Madrid, and the game drew 2-2. Exciting game, really to watch. It's always a joy watching games at Celtic Park, as the fans, they give their best experience for the opponent team. Whenever you come to Celtic Park, is always something to remember. The biggest and the best players in the world talk about, travel to Celtic Park and play Celtic. It's just an amazing atmosphere. It's really good. But the Japanese for Roshai, he opened the scoring for the Scottish team, and I think, yeah, Griezmann got that penalty for and scored, but he missed, and initially he scored on his rebound. That's his 29th goal in the UEFA Champions League. That's kind of small. That kind of a little bit though. Like, Griezmann got 29 goals in the UEFA Champions League. Ronaldo and Messi, they put the bar all the way up here. Like, these guys have over 100 Champions League goals. This is how these guys put the bar. Like, Griezmann scored his 29 Champions League goal. Wow. But Luis Palma, the Honduran, the man from La Ceiba in Honduras, he scored the second goal for the Scottish team before Morata equalized and go 2-2. But this player is really good. I saw him play against the Reggae Boys. I watch him keenly, especially, in the Gold Cup, and he's one to watch. He came over from Greece this season. So, you know, good to see that, CONCACAF players is thriving in European football. But, Morata equalized. But, so that's how Group E is. Group E, Feyenoord on top, 6 points from 3 games. Atletico Madrid, 5 points from 3 games. Lazio, 4 points. Celtic is in last position and 1 point. I think that was Celtic, really good chance to win this game, as their next game will be in the Wanda Metropolitano. I think it would be a hell of a game for Celtic to get a result in that game. And the Rodrigo de Paul, the Argentinian, he got a red card today, and Celtic almost got that winning goal today. They could have won the game, but Atletico Madrid, finally got over the line and they got what they needed, just a part. You could see Diego Simeone's celebration at the end just show that, that's what he need. A point is enough for him. And I think that's how that group going to finish. Celtic in last. I think Lazio, will get that Europa League spot. But I'm going to move on from there, move from Celtic Park. We go to Parc de France in Paris. AC Milan lost the game, their first defeat of the Champions League in Group F. AC Milan haven't conceded a goal. Could you imagine it? The team that, one day, the Scudetto a couple seasons ago, can't score a goal. Rafael Leo, they got Captain America, Oliver Giroud, they got Chukwueze, Nigerian. They got so many players, and they haven't scored a goal. They drew the game 1-1. I think they drew in the Ignace Donde Park against Dortmund Nilal, and they drew 0-0 at home against Newcastle. So where to go from here? They will host Paris Saint-Germain in the return in the next phase of the group stage, in the last phase, and they will host them at San Siro. It will be I think, I don't know, man. I think AC Milan is already. Oh, this is Group F, Group of Death. You know, they already sitting on 2 points, but you never know. You never know. They just sitting on 2 points. 2 points from second place Dortmund, but I think the way not Unai Emery, the way Luis Enriquez, set up his team, kudos for him. I saw something that, he did with the Portuguese midfielder Vitina. He tried to keep the opponent left back occupied just to get Kylian Mbappe more space, so he can have more freedom to dribble and get more space going forward. Just to cut in on his favorite foot and shoot, but Kylian Mbappe scored a brace on a day, and that's what they need. They won the game. I think Ousmane Dembele scored a goal, but I think it was offside. I think it was offside, but Kylian Mbappe, this is his this is his 42nd goal in UEFA Champions League in 64 appearances. You know, and he's what 13 from 13 for club and country this year. I think this is his 12th goal of the season. But losing back to back, AC Milan, they lost at home. against the old ladies Juventus in the league. That game played, I think, played on a Sunday, I think, over the weekend. Yeah, but even that game, AC Milan kind of control the game just before they got that red card. The defender Taiwo, the Frenchman, got that red card, and then from there, the old ladies took over the game from them. But I think AC Milan is in problem if they lose the next game at home to Paris Saint Germain. But respect, the lone striker, the lone superstar that left back at PSG. He's bringing his team on his back. He's doing everything to try to win this Champions League, but it's going to be hard. But this young kid, Emre Zahir, he's man of the match. Wonderful talent. I just love to watch his French kid. He's down to earth. He's really focused. Not many kids, in the game know who's getting a lot of money. Putting in the work, putting in that work behind the scene just to prepare his body. Keep his mental state free. So kudos to Emre Zahir. You got man of the match, but the another match in Group F, the big one at St. James Park, very surprising defeat. Newcastle lost their 6 games of the calendar year. They lost their first home game in the UEFA Champions League at home since 2005. So the man who scored is Felix Dementia, formerly of Manchester City Youth Academy prodigy. I think they sold him to Wolfsburg, and then this is a man they bought from Wolfsburg to replace Jude Bellingham, and he scored his first goal for his new club, Dortmund. But since that goal scored just before the end of the first half, you could see the attitude of Newcastle players. It kind of dropped, but they came out really good in the second half, and they were trying to get the goal. Their star man injured in the first half, Alexander Isak, and Wilson came on, and he got 2 chances. I think he hit the woodwork from a Trippier set piece from that left side, and he hit the ball, but he couldn't direct it in the goal. It eventually hit the post, but he got that point blank, and that's where, as a striker, you have to finish your chances. But since that defeat in Paris, Dortmund, when they lost their first game in the UEFA Champions League, they haven't lost any more game. The only game that they dropped points was against AC Milan in match day 2 at home. But others from that, they won all 5 games in the Bundesliga. So they unbeaten in 6 games. So respect to see, the German team is finding about a little bit of farm. But we're going to move on to Group G. But before we move on to Group G, in Group F, Paris Saint-Germain, I said, is in first position, Dortmund second, and 4 points, Newcastle in third, and 4 points, Milan in fourth position and 2 points, so this group is wide open. As Newcastle, they will travel to Dortmund, and PSG will travel to Italy to face AC Milan. But so we're going to move on. Group G, the last set of games and for the day. Young boys, they lost at home 3-1 against Manchester City, and guess who scored the first goal for Manchester City? The Switzerland scored on his fierce rival team. Back in his time when he was playing for I think Basel. He was playing against young boys in this time, and he never scored on them before. So no, he got the goal, but Haaland, the big man, the big Norwegian, he got a brace. I think the first goal was a penalty, but the second goal picked that out of the top jar. The keeper couldn't save it. So one PK on the left and one curler on the right. But Manchester City, they gave up I would say a little mistake. The young boys player Ilya, he scored an equalizer. And they were trying to get back into the game, but Manchester City, they dominate the game, they control the game from minute 1 to minute 90. So it will be a shock result if young boys could have hold on that 1-1 result, but they couldn't. But Leipzig in Germany, they took on the Serbs, Red Star Belgrade, and they won that game 3-1. Goal of the day, Xavi Simons, the Dutchman, wonderful goal. I gave you a little story about Xavi Simons. When they first just starting to play this tournament, young kids coming from all over the world. I think age 6, age 8. He was captain of the Barcelona under team. I think he was 6 years old, and I was saying, Xavi Simons, whoa, he's a wonderful player, wonderful midfielder at that age 7. Wonder if he could replace Xavi Hernandez and carry on that name, but he didn't got that chance. at Barcelona and he moved on. I think he went to PSG and from there PSG just started to loan him out all around and he's at Leipzig now and that goal that he scored and Red Star Belgrade, it was a wonderful goal. Wonderful goal, man. But we have come to the end of the show, but I'm going to give, Group G. Group G, stays like this. Manchester City leading 3 from 3. RB Leipzig, they are 6 points in second position. Young Boys is in third position, and Red Star Belgrade is on one position, not one position, and 1 point in fourth position. So I think Young Boys will get that final Europa League spot, in Group G and finish for that and drop out of the Champions League and go down into the Europa League. But this is how I think the group will end. But Young Boys will travel to Manchester City in a couple of days from now, and RB Leipzig will travel to that intimidated stadium in Red Star Belgrade, Serbia. So yeah, people, bless up on yourself. We have come to the end of the show. UEFA Champions League. See you guys for the UEFA Champions League match day for a couple of weeks from now. Going on. Is it the Premier League time? But I think Reggae Girls play later. I'm on a strike for the Reggae Girls. Ain't discussing nothing. The girls deserve them pay and all of that. So I'm on a strike for doing videos for the Reggae Girls. But Premier League weekend, big Manchester derby. Big games over there in Italy. AC Milan versus Napoli in Naples. So yeah, people, look out for that. Look out for the new show over the weekend. JPL. Jamaican Premier League. We have Daniel and on his show, talking about Extra Time Podcast. We will talk about the El Clasico and all of that. The Prem Podcast will be live. The time will announce soon. So yeah, big up on yourself. Peace out. Salute.
In the city life, I'm feeling so alive. Drifting around the corner, got them shades on my eyes. It's a pretty little thing by my side that's flawless. Why you niggas still chasing road?